Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk, Tuesday, September 17th. And getting right into this, my second video of the day. Beautiful, beautiful day today. Nice, really fall, but it's still sort of summer. It's probably like 67 degrees, really super comfortable. Excuse me, let me grab my coffee. Hope you don't mind that, people, that I get occasionally as I'm recording this, I'll take a sip of my coffee. So people ask me, like, Jesus Christ, you're like an encyclopedia, like you cover everything, you talk about everything. And that's true. I read, listen to podcasts, watch film, and I watch a lot of UFC. Throw that in there too. Okay, so each day listen, the importance of getting things done is planning. I learned this a long time ago when I was a recruiter. I used to be a headhunter, an executive search consultant, right? I've talked about this before. I worked in the biotech and pharmaceutical industries, and I focused in clinical research. And the most important thing is planning. We would plan the night before and then adapt. You know, you follow your outline and maybe little changes during the day, but it's so key. If you don't have a plan for the day, you are fucksville. So even with this, what I'm doing here, now I know that I write out everything. My exercise, I work out all day, every day. Probably too much, but that's another video recording. And then I write out, like, for today. And I probably won't get through all this. It's so much. I definitely won't. But it's there. It's Tuesday, September 17th, and take a look. I have this notebook. I always have notebooks and a pen. And so, what do I plan for today? Well, I'm going to finish up with Eric Weinstein's latest podcast, the retired Navy SEAL Jocko Willink. I'm going to try to watch UFC 6. I've started it again. Again, as you know, my plan is to go back and watch every single UFC event. I've already done this, by the way. I've missed a couple, maybe, more recent in the last year, but I've watched them all. So I'm going back, watching them again, and then doing a video recording and breaking it down. I've already done 3. 3.5, actually. And they're up. 3 are posted, put it that way. UFC 1, UFC 2, and UFC 3. Okay, so I'm going to watch UFC 6, UFC 7. I talked about this yesterday. I actually posted something and put it up on YouTube. But The Story of Film by Mark Cousins. 15 hours. Awesome. Then on Netflix, I started last night just streaming. There's a new Netflix series called Unbelievable about the 16-year-old girl who was raped and people didn't believe her, whatever. I just started it. Mystic River. Remember that? The movie? That's, I think, back in the 90s. And then American Psycho with Christian Bale. Watching that. So, and then I have my reading for today. Here we are. The Harlan Ellison collection. All right. I have no mouth and I must scream. Love him. I also have, I'm a big, huge science fiction fan. Actually, I'm just starting to really get into it. I've been into science fiction since I had my NDE 5 years ago. NDE, near-death experience. So I'm a simulation guy, simulation theory. Here we are, the big book of science fiction. Look how thick that fucker is. All right. Obviously, I'm not going to I won't be able to read the whole thing in one day, but it's on my plan. I read some, right? Okay, so continuing on. I kid you not, right? I'm going to try to get to as many Tim Ferriss podcasts as possible. I'm starting from the beginning. I'm on episode 22. So I'm going to listen to Ed Catmull. Episode 23 is on homeopathic remedies. Tim Ferriss episode number 24 is with Kevin Rose. That'll be his second time with Kevin. Tim and Kevin are friends. He's an awesome dude, man, Kevin Rose. And then 25 is Kevin Kelly. Who is Kevin? It doesn't matter. Okay. And then I have Joe Rogan's latest podcast, my guy, Sean Carroll. It's amazing. I listen to 6 podcasts. Joe Rogan, Sean Carroll, Sam Harris, The Very Bad Wizards, Eric Weinstein and Tim Ferriss. And when they're on each other's shows, I'm like, fuck, yay. I do cartwheels. I'm a kid in a candy store. So Sean Carroll's on Joe Rogan. I'm going to get to that. Sean Carroll's latest podcast is with Ramez Nam. And then I have discs. Not only do I stream from Netflix, I also get the disc. I got the optimum plan, the premium plan. I could get any movie I want, whatever's available streaming, and then also disc. Basically any movie I want. There are some limitations, like I'm totally into film, like silent films, the Russians and old German stuff, and that's hard to get. The real, and there used to be a film streaming service, and it just didn't work out. They had about, 70,000 films, all old, great classics, really hard to find film, and it just money. They just didn't make it. It lasted about 2 years. What was it called? Film, I even forgot what it was. Film Buff something. And it was fucking awesome. I loved it. And I paid, it was a little more expensive. I think it was $14.99 a month. And it just didn't work out. There are not enough crazy people like me who are so into film. Okay, so that's my day. Oh, so the disc. Okay, the disc Blood Ties, and then also Joe. So that's 15 things I got planned to do today. That's why I got all this information. And then tomorrow's another day. You see what I'm saying? And then I have a photographic memory. So that's why. All right. I'll leave it at that. Good friends. Oops, I shouldn't give the peace sign yet. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here at Tabor Talk.